All right. Hello, hello, hello. This is your host, Crystal Jordan with Reality Check. We're right back with another conversation on relationships and love and all that good stuff. My guest today is none other than, she's a very familiar face. We know her as an actress, life coach, fitness coach, and she is going to get the couples together on VH1's couples retreat. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to do with the couples here because she's got her work cut out for her. But welcome, AJ Johnson, to Reality Check. Hey, AJ.
Hey, good morning to you. Actually, it's afternoon for me. I'm in Africa still, but
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
it's 3 o'clock here. So
Okay.
you guys, but I heard you say she's gonna get them together. And I'm like, wait, don't say I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do what I can, girl. I'm gonna do what I can and try. Woo!
You got a quite a job cut out for you. And the last time you were actually here before COVID. We had you here in studio before COVID. We were talking about a television show that you were doing about love and social media and how social media can affect relationships now. And you are in the middle of some of the biggest social media driven relationships, period, right now. You got quite a job.
I don't think it's a strange thing to hear me say, for anyone to hear me say that I try to surrender to God's assignments in my life, which is how I even got to Africa. And just so you know, I haven't been back to the US. I left right after our interview. I don't know if you know that.
I do. I remember you were going to Africa, but I assume that you had been back. You've been there the entire time. Oh my gosh.
I have been gone from the US for 4 months.
Wow.
Some of it was just to release a lot of my anxiety about COVID. I knew that LA was shutting down around Christmas. Of course, being in touch with my tribe, I knew that LA had not opened up by February. And then opportunities came for me around Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. I had prayed for international territory in Africa anyway. So I was like, okay, what better time than a pandemic? I'm good. I'm just do my COVID test and roll. And next thing you know, it's been 4 months. So that being said, I take this assignment the same way, I don't watch a lot of reality TV. I don't watch a lot of Love and Hip Hop. And I purposely did not, even once I knew I was going to be doing this job. Can you hear me? I think one of the gardeners at the hotel is buzzing around. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't hear that. So that's good. Yeah.
Perfect. So I, with any client, especially celebrity clients, I don't like to go into what the media has said or what's on their social media pages, because that's not my job. My job is to help them with the internal and how they live it on the external. So when I knew who the couples were, I was happy that I didn't know very much about their backstory. I wanted to hear from them. And I wanted them to know, honestly, I hadn't followed all the mess. I didn't know what the media or what the audiences have been saying. And I was really genuinely trying to help them. And that's my technique, as a life coach. I like to come from the real. I like to come with the real. And I want to be met with the real. So, I'm approaching this from a standpoint of not even couples, to be honest. I'm approaching this from anytime I feel like you're in an unhealthy relationship. And I'm also going to talk about myself because I'm part of this as well. When you find yourself in an unhealthy relationship, you have to examine what part you played in it. Okay? Where are you accountable? Where are you responsible for what's happening or what's not happening? And so for me, what I wanted to do with them is to examine them individually and then help them understand why potentially and possibly their relationships weren't what they wanted it to be. So, six episodes is amazing. It's not a lot of time to uncover years of toxic relationship. But, what I want to have happen is not only in the 6 episodes do I want to give them something to think about and where they could have gone wrong and what they can do different, but I also want to try to drop some gems to the audience watching, because like I said, including me, everybody is trying to figure this relationship thing out. And so
everybody is, right?
What I feel like I've gotten that I want to share is that you have to be healthy first. You have to be healthy on your own first. And then define what that means. Girl, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, because you can get to a healthy place and then you get in a relationship and realize, there's still some things I haven't worked out, because relationships are great mirrors to show us exactly where our own, our issues, our weaknesses, or inconsistencies are. I want to ask you a serious question because I think two of the couples are dealing with something, especially one that is extremely different and probably not something that can be wrapped up in 6 episodes. You have Raymond Santana from the Central Park Five that's in a relationship with Delicious. He's gone through a lot of trauma, and even with Mendices and Yandy, Mendices going to prison, and I think people get excited and they see the two of them reunited, but that's got to leave a lot of almost like PTSD on Mendices and, of course, Raymond, that have had to be away from their families in prison, dealt with things that we can't imagine, and then you come back and you're in this relationship. How are you able, or how are you assuming to kind of work with them and help them deal with the fact that they probably have a lot going on that has nothing to do with the relationship, but will come out in the relationship?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, you just really answered the question for me. I'm trying to deal with, who are you? What are you dealing with? Where are you in life? Where do you want to be? Before we even talk about the union, you brought up both of them, Mendices and Raymond. Yeah, I mean, they both had very traumatic situations in their lives. I also approach it from the standpoint of just being Black men in America. Being Black men in America is a whole different thing. And having spent time in Africa before this time, I got a chance to see the royalty that we are, the kings and queens that we are, as opposed to how we deal with each other in America. So I also bring that experience to it to just remind each of them we're kings and we're queens, the way we talk to each other, the way we handle each other. There's a level of reverence and adornment and admiration that a lot of us don't operate in. And let's even start there. Like, you've picked this person to be your life partner, or you're thinking you want this person to be your life partner. So what does that really mean? And how are you accountable to what you're doing in delivering that? So I'm just trying to help, for Raymond specifically, I'm trying to help him own that he's still learning. He spent most of his young adult life where most other men learn how to date, learn how to deal with women, learn about sex, learn about healthy loves. He was incarcerated.
Yeah.
And Medici, he was away as Yandy's star rose. So now he's having to deal with not only his family life, but her new career that wasn't as where it is now when he went in. So there's a lot of things. But here's the thing. To me, they're no different than other people's issues. Like right now, we're in a pandemic. We're dealing with, you used to be at work all day, or used to be on location doing something. And now all of a sudden, you're home with the kids, or you're just coming out of being home. Everybody's got their situation. It's not just celebrities. Everybody, every relationship, every person has something they have to deal with where their physical and mental and emotional health is at stake. And so I'm just trying to hopefully give them tools, if not teach them quickly, at least give them the tools to evaluate what kind of questions they need to be asking themselves. What kind of answers do they need to be getting from themselves and their God before they even go to their spouse?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we saw Ray J and Ray J and Princess relationship is very public. Like I said, one of the ones that's on social media constantly. We saw him on Wendy. I wonder, let me just ask this, because not just Ray J, but also another one of the couples we saw talking about infidelity. Is there a way, do you think, that couples can, certain couples can have a different dynamic? Because I know the comedian, I can't think of his name right now.
Michael Blackson.
Yes, Michael Blackson. There's a clip where he's saying that he's just not into infidelity. I mean, into monogamy. He's not into that. Right. Is there, and I think that people are, especially now, we're exploring relationships that are a little different than the more conventional ones. Do you think that couples need to find what works for them? Or do you think that monogamy is just still a staple that most couples are going to have to figure out at some place, in some way?
Honestly, I feel like it's a matter of the heart and soul. Everybody's heart is different. Everybody's soul is different. And I think, social media pushes all of us to reach for things that we see that are not necessarily true. I mean, it's easy for me to march into an airport and stand on the steps of a private plane. Doesn't mean that I flew all the way to Africa on the freaker. You know what I mean? But I can make you believe I did. So, when we're living in such a time of, fabricate and filter, if you will, right? I think you have to get to a point where you realize this is what I want. This is what works for me. If I find a partner in that same thing and we connect, that's where the bliss is. Like, we have to stop trying to live up to what we think is supposed to be the relationship and what we think I'll say this to women. We get caught up in, I'm supposed to have a baby by 30, or I'm supposed to this, and I'm supposed to that. Or for my brothers, I'm supposed to be the man of the house. I'm supposed to be the provider. And if the woman makes more money, it's the issue. These are all like American issues that are dragging us down as people and in our relationships. And I think as soon as we get open and ask ourselves, the first episode of The Six aired last night, and I specifically asked Ray J. I don't know if you saw it, but I asked Ray J, what do you want? Like, tit for tat, they're arguing. He and Princess are going back and forth over the past. And I tried to stop it to say, just hold all of that. What do you want? Do you want her? Do you want friendship? Do you want marriage? Do you want a relationship? Not even about Princess. Just what do you want? Because I can't help if you don't know what you want. And I think that's the question for everybody. Figure out what you want and then go for that.
What life lessons, because like I said, you've had a long-standing career, and I'm sure a lot of life experiences that you bring into being a life coach, especially when it comes to love. What experiences have you personally had that you wanted to bring to this to be able to share maybe with the couples?
What time do we have? Are you kidding? I'll make a list. One, things are not always what they seem on the outside. Forget what someone says, watch their actions. I remember I was dating a ball player once, and he gave me keys to the house, and I was like, I'm in, keys to the house. I knew he had 6 houses and 6 other women in the houses.
Yikes.
I had to learn the lesson. I was one of 6, right? So again, it's like, ask the right questions, and don't be afraid to ask. We say ask the hard questions. They ain't hard. They're the truthful questions. Ask questions so you know who you're getting in a relationship with. Be open and honest from the beginning. Don't be afraid. And I say this to mostly women because a lot of times we try to reshape and remold according to what we think the man's going to want. And then we have to spend time trying to live that. Like, I got some women I know that say they've never taken off their wig and they've been married for 3 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Like, so what happens if, God forbid, something happens and, you can't wear a wig, or now you're asking him to deal with something that he's never seen in the last 3 years. So I just say, seek out honesty, be real with yourself, be real in the relationship, and then you get the real,
Yeah.
Men and women, we cannot be afraid to be outside of a relationship. I'm living my best life and I'm single. Are there times where I want a companion? Absolutely. Do I want to live all this fabulous life on my own? No. But as I travel, I'm meeting some of the most amazing men, people, friends. It's like, if I had a relationship on this trip now, it would have been bringing sand to the beach.
I heard that.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you have to trust what God allows and what God does not allow. When it comes to, are you in a relationship now? Are you not? Is it time? Work on yourself and know that you will be blessed when the time is right.
Right. I love that. For the couples, like I said, you've got some personalities there. I did see that with Ray J. And I think that sometimes, what we want can get confused with what we think is acceptable, or what maybe the public wants, or what your fans want, or what your followers want. What is your personal wish for each of the couples? Because they're all very unique, even though they're all very public and, have a sense of celebrity attached to them. What is your individual wish for each specific couple that we're going to see you interacting with and coaching over the next 5 episodes?
What I love about this show is, and you're going to see more and more as the show unfolds, I actually get a chance to spend time with each couple as well as each person. And how much of it makes the edit, but I got a chance to quickly get to know each of them so that I could try to help further. So with that being said, for Yandy and Medici, they are, to me, one of the most down couples there is. I think they've had a lot of knocks. I think Yandy's very open and very honest, and she's one of the sisters that will ask it and deal with the answer. I think they just have to deal with their past and the wounds. Mendices has a lot of family stuff that he's dealing with, and to just be patient. Just be patient. Love is patient. Love is kind. I mean, I said this on my Instagram. I mean it. I came to this platform with Corinthians love, is what I call it, as the foundation, a biblical definition of love, because to me, it's the best definition of how we should be when we love ourselves and other people.
Right.
Love is not proud. It doesn't boast wrongdoings. Love is patient. Love is kind. No matter what it is, I wish that for all the couples. For London, as we know, delicious, as well as for Raymond, I think they both have to understand that, the attraction could have been initially very surface, but they're really amazing people. And I think they have the same belief system and they want the same thing. I think they have to just say, you know what, if we locked ourselves away from the public for a year and a half, would we still like each other? Would we still love? Like, forget the public part. What happens if we weren't public? What happens if we didn't have that thing in the way? Would we still love each other? And see what happens there. So I pray and hope that London and Raymond spend a little bit more time away from the cameras and getting into each other.
Yeah.
And realize that they did all of this fast, and it's okay to slow down. They got engaged and they got married, like all within the pandemic, all within a year. So it's like, it's okay. Pump the brakes. It's okay. If it's real, it ain't going nowhere. Right. So it's okay to pump the brakes a little bit. I'll get to Ray J and Princess later. In terms of Rashida and Kurt, I don't want to give too much away, but they to me are the couple that did the most drastic flip. And I'll just say that. And what I want from them is to continue to walk in what brought them together, which is an attraction to each other. They have since grown business on top of business.
Right.
And you say last night, a lot of their relationship is business partners. And if that's what they want, like anybody else. If that's what you want, that's cool. But it's hard to just have that. And you want the romance. You want the cuddles. You want the great sex. That's where the relationship gets a little bit off. So I hope for them that they continue to work on their love as hard as they work on their business.
I like that. Yeah.
And then Raymond, who's left? Did I get everybody?
Michael Blackson
and Rada. I think Rada got in over her head. And I think as much as she loves a good time, there's more to the relationship that she wants than what she had. And I think she's in process of, do I love myself more or do I love this life with him more? And I think that's a choice that she has to make. I pray that he loves her enough that as she unveils her true self and what she really wants outside of the threesomes and the foursomes and the fivesomes, as she said, that there's still going to be a connection. But there's nothing sustainable if they don't come clean. Michael's living his life. He told her from the beginning, this is who I am. I'm not faithful. I love 5 women. He told her from the beginning. She's acclimated. So I hope that she starts to live more in her truth. If it's that, then there's no reason for me. But from what I've seen so far, I think she has to live a little bit more true to what she really, really wants in her heart. And then last but definitely not least, Princess and Ray J. Everybody giggles when I call their names. I love them. I've known Ray J a long time. We've both been in the business, equally a long time. I've watched Ray J grow as a person. I think that he's been allowed to get away with not really truly maturing as a man, and let alone in a relationship. But at the same time, I think Princess is learning the same thing. Ray J can only get away with what he's allowed to get away with. And so when you can stand and tell me that there was never on the same page when you were in a relationship, that there's no sex, it's like, this is the relationship you built. It's on quicksand. So I'm still in touch with mostly everybody, even after we filmed. And one of the things I want for Ray J and Princess is to know that they have 2 beautiful kids that are not victims of this, and they shouldn't be. And I hope that if nothing else, they either get to the real and become amazing as a couple away from the lights and camera and social media. But even for the sake of the kids, just get to be close friends. I know a lot of people whose marriages in this industry didn't survive, but they're amazing parents. They're amazing parents, and they're great friends and possibly business partners. So it's tricky. It's tricky. But I personally come from a 2-parent household, no extra kids outside of the house. My parents were together until death did both of them part. And so I have a different perspective. Even though I'm in the industry, I didn't grow up around an industry relationship.
Right.
So I'm bringing a very old-fashioned, if you will. I'm bringing that old-fashioned love expectation to these relationships. And I just pray that, they start to believe that it's possible.
Well, it seems like everything is in alignment. Like I said, the last time you were here, you were talking about a show that was asking the question, do hashtag relationship goals line up with real relationship goals? And it looks like that's the same thing that's going on here. And I think that, like you said, it's not just these couples. It's couples everywhere, because everyone is sharing their relationship. People are posting their engagement, their relationships a lot more than we've ever shared in the past. Yes. So I think everybody kind of has to figure out, once the Instagram and social media is off, is that really the relationship that you want?
But I gotta tell you, it's the food that feeds the beast. It just is, because sometimes it's easier to go to the millions of people that follow you and get praise, as opposed to sit and stay up all night and argue with this fool next to you in bed, whether it's the woman that's the fool or the man that's the fool. Like, it's easy to just say, you know what, I'm done. Let me go to my 3 million followers and get loved on. Right. So, but what we have to realize is it's not real. These people don't know us. They're not in our lives on a daily basis. They're basically following us, literally. They're following what we give them, right? They're not submerging themselves in our souls or in our hearts. They're following whatever we provide as information. So I think we all have to be very, very careful with what we share on social media. I, for one, have to remind myself, everything's not for everybody. A lot of times things are just for me. Like, even here in Africa, not even relationship related, but here in Africa, I'll be going through something and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to post this. And I thought, wait, hold on. You experience it, you absorb it, you deal with it. And then if you want to share, you can. But it's always after the fact. It's always after the fact for me now, and I'm teaching myself it's okay to share and it's okay to not share something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like that. Well, let people know when they can catch VH1 Couples Retreat.
Yes.
Yes.
And you mentioned Stuck With You, which was the show that I was talking to you about last time I was with you. Stuck With You season, we finished it. It's coming out any day, so you can catch that on Black Network. Couples Retreat, VH1, every Monday night, a new episode premieres Monday night at 9 Eastern. But, like VH1, from what I can understand, I'm over here on the other side of the world, but everybody's blowing me up. Like, they're still repeating. People set their DVRs. So y'all hurry up and catch up before next Monday and episode 2. Don't let us leave you behind. You got to hurry up and catch up. Yeah. So, and pray for me. Pray for me.
We are. When I heard you were doing this, we've worked with Ray J many times. We are.
Yes, girl. Come on, keep me in prayer. Root for me in this, okay?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us over in beautiful Africa. Your scenery is just beautiful. We're just, and everything you have on, it just is all in sync. But thank you for taking time out to come in and check in with us here on Reality Check. We'll definitely be watching all season and hopefully can catch up with you again after all this is over with, to kind of rehash everything.
Yes. I'll hold you to it. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, AJ.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, make sure that you check out, as she said, VH1 Couples Retreat every Monday on VH1. So enjoy talking to her. Such a wealth of just charisma. She can get your mind right and your body right. AJ Johnson is a beast. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was a Reality Check exclusive. We had to do something a little special so we could make sure we get our sister over there in Africa. But check it out. Let us know what you think. I'll see you guys next time right here on Reality Check.